Interest rates were on the move in October and hit some pretty high numbers into the 8% range. How did that affect the real estate market in Reno, Sparks, and Northern Nevada? Let's take a look. So we just saw a slight increase, funny enough, back to $575,000 for median home price for a single family home in Reno, Sparks. Now compare that to the last 13 months here, and you can see the last 5 months specifically have pretty much been right around that $575 or that $567, so within $10,000. We've been fluctuating right around, and not very much, and just more of plateauing for the last 5 months. So kind of interesting there, and I think you know, a lot of people are holding off and just seeing what's happening in the market, and that's just putting us more on a steady plateau. Taking a look at median days to contract, and basically how long does it take to get an accepted offer for your home here in Reno, Sparks. We jumped up from about 3 weeks to a month now to get an accepted offer for homes in the area. Take that back to last year in October, and we were at 36 days to contract, so it's slightly less than last year. Now what paints a clearer picture is looking at it by price point, and you can really see where these were really changed. You look below $600,000 price point, and you're gonna see, you know, went up 4 days, went down 3 days, went down 3 days for anything below 500,000. So really interesting to see, versus the other side of 1.5 million, went up from 41 to 69 days. So quite the change there. Now looking at our solds, our new listings, and our inventory on the market, our critically low inventory still, and it's at 821 homes. So we did drop 19 homes from last month. Now we did see new listings did tick up some, but not enough to keep the inventory going. So we did see that drop in turn. Now sold listings, we did see a drop from 372 sold homes to 340 homes. Now we are seeing, historically we do see sales drop and go down for winter time. So will we continue that trend of going downward? You've seen the last couple of months we've gone downward, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Now let's see what's available in your price point for inventory. And you can see most of these had stayed the same. And what's really interesting looking at this graph is almost all these different price points are pretty close to each other, minus below 400,000. But most of these are right in the, you know, 116, 133, 144. So between the 140s and, you know, 1-teens, we're right in there for most of these price points, which is interesting. So we didn't see too many moves though. Looking at the month supply of inventory and kind of where we're trending, you can see we've kind of been from our low point in March from 1.5 months of inventory. We've kind of been slowly trekking upward to 2.4 months. We went up 0.1 months from last month. And so nothing too dramatic. We're still at a very strong market considerably. Even though we have low sales, we have not much inventory, so they kind of balance each other out. So, you know, while this is a slow time for our real estate market in the last decade, or comparatively in this decade, we are still nothing too dramatic of, oh my gosh, there's a crash happening or anything like that. I've heard talk about that. We are not seeing anything like that in this market. Now, what's really interesting is starting to look at these different price points. Again, this is really starting to paint a clearer picture each time we look at these different price point graphs. And you can see that, look at the million to 1.5 million, went from 3.9 months supply of inventory to 6.9 months. That means that it's gonna take nearly 7 months to sell every single home in that price point. If no more homes hit the market today, in the million to million half range, it takes nearly 7 months to sell all of those homes currently. So that's what that means. And you can see that was quite the jump of 3 months. All the other lower priced ones are still, haven't changed too much. Some even went down. Looking at the pending sales, you can see we almost stayed pretty much the same. And you can see compared to last year, 359, we are a little bit less than last year. So we have seen that market. I think those interest rates have been starting to really affect us. Good news is in the last week, we have seen them tick down. So that's good news, and we're hoping that we see that trend continue. We want these homes to become more affordable. We understand those higher price points, these near record median home prices for a lot of the area does make it hard at 8% interest rate. So if we can get these interest rates down, it'll make it more affordable for you. So we are really hoping for that. And we can see that, like I said, 335, historically, we are gonna see that probably trend downward. And actually, I got a new graph for you for this. This is just a screenshot I took over the last 10 years. And you can see these low points throughout the years are pretty much all winter. I think that's either like December, January timeframe we see on those low points. And with those low points, you can kind of go across and you can see last winter is that lowest valley there, right? And you can see that low peak or that low valley there, we went up and now we're kind of coming back down and we're at a very low point and we're not even in winter yet. So are we gonna see that trend back down to that low valley point? We're gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully interest rates improve and that might help prevent us from doing that, but we'll have to find out. Looking at our pending sales at the different price ranges, we can see that nothing too dramatic on a lot of these. The 600 to 750 we saw went from 79 homes to 58 homes. And some of the higher price points, we saw a drop from 27 homes to only 17 homes accepted an offer in the $1 million to $1.5 million price point. So definitely shows where the market is going, and we're still seeing some high sales numbers. Remember when we looked at all the inventory and I was saying that how all those inventory numbers were pretty close to each other within 20-30 homes for inventory? Well, look at that. Look at how many less are selling in those price points, and these are accepting offers. So take that in mind when you're out there shopping for a home, which ones are selling. And that's why we're seeing when 17 sell or accepted an offer in October, that means that's why we saw that go up to 6.9 months and add 3 months supply of inventory. So definitely take note of that. I wanted to stop for just a moment and remind you, if you haven't yet, hit that like button below. It helps let me know that you are enjoying these videos and content and you'd like to see me make more of them. And if you'd really like to help me, hit that subscribe and notification bell to really show that you are supporting this channel and want to see more videos. All right, now back to the fun content. So we're gonna go into the hyper-local market, starting with Reno, $600,000 price point there. Just a slight change there. You can see that inventory dropped nearly 10% for Reno. And new listings dropped 16.7%. 235 new homes hit the market. Looking at Sparks, you can see that median home price is $520,000. Remember that number. We're gonna go back to that in a couple of slides, but you can see the inventory is 265. Actually went up a little bit in Sparks. But new listings relatively stayed the same, but just slightly ticked downward. And closed sales down to 87 homes sold. Going out to Fernley, $389,000 price point there, went up. We saw inventory at 91 homes, down 8, that's over 8%. And new listings is down even more. Only 31 new homes hit the market in Fernley last month. That's down almost 28%. Now let's go to our capital of Carson City. Now remember I told you, remember Sparks number of $520,000? Look at compared to that, Carson City median price point is $65,000 more than Sparks. So thought that was really interesting. It did jump up 15%. Now what was really interesting is like, what the heck happened? You look at the median sold price per square foot down there, it's at $313. It went down. So it was actually at $316 last month. And with that drop, what that really tells us is that bigger homes were selling in October of in October down in Carson City. So we saw bigger homes, probably the median square footage bigger is gonna be about 240 square feet more house being sold. So when a bigger house sells, that's obviously gonna have a higher price point usually. So that's where we saw that. We'll see if this was a kind of a fluke jump And if we come back down, or maybe they're just building bigger homes down in Carson, and that's gonna raise those prices. Down in Gardnerville and Minden, $627,500. We saw inventory drop just a little bit there. New listings down 12% to 58 new listings, and closed sales at 52. Median days to contract at 47. We saw that tick up quite a bit from last month. Closing us out back in Reno Sparks for condos and townhomes, $315,000 there. So we did see that drop a little bit. Inventory, 191 homes on the market, so in the Reno Sparks area. So there are some options for you if you are looking for something that's considered more affordable. I just went and toured a few homes this weekend, some new Toll Brothers townhomes right off McCarran, and I even saw some that were right on the Truckee River, where they even have one unit still available for sale that is facing the Truckee River. That would be your backyard. How cool would that be? So if you are curious on something like this, feel free to text me, email me, call me, let me know. My information's below, and we can definitely talk about that. And before closing, I wanted to make note, one, it's almost Thanksgiving, oh my goodness. I'm hosting a pie social event. This is an annual event I do for my past clients and future clients. And with this, it's my appreciation. So we put together a whole little social event with drinks, charcuterie, good time, good company. And if you are curious of maybe getting into the market in the next year or something, and you want to connect and maybe just meet, see if we're the right fit, let me know. I'll get you an invite for this event. It's completely free to you, and I'd love to see you, meet you, and see if we can help you for your real estate needs into 2024. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time.